Oh, God damn it. Honestly, that's on me. I should have checked. How long was that? 20 minutes.
Warning, I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Limbus Company. Welcome back to Canso 8. So, I'm thinking, maybe, / hoping that we've kind of got most of the introductions out of the way at this point. Of course, we're only on chapter 8, but I'm hoping we can start digging into a bit of the meat, right? Get a bit of the hook and see what's going on here. At the very least, we've got combat, which is a good sign. The fact that we're going to be attacked implies that something will happen. Don't get me wrong, the introduction stuff is very important and I'm glad for it, but I am hoping we can get into some, fisticuffs. Oh yes, it's looking like it's going to be fisticuffs. Maybe it's Chew.
자, 여기랍니다.
Ta-da!
가깝다고 한 것 치곤 꽤 걸었네요.
Honestly, you get people who are like, you go walk somewhere and it's like 10 minutes away and they're like, that's a pretty long walk. And I'm like, if you have some kind of ailment or physical disability, then yes, that is a long walk. If you do not, it is not a long walk. Shut up. Though I get what Ishmael is saying here, of course. It's a long walk considering where we are and how close you would assume Honglu's like abode would be in comparison to it. It's just to emphasize that the place is really big.
이홍원이라고 부른답니다.
Joyous Red Court. Yi Hongyan. So does Yuan mean court? 'Cause I'm noticing Yuan pop up quite a lot. Am I learning Chinese? I'm doubtful somehow. But I'm trying my best.
홍원에서 제일 향긋한 꽃나무로 만든 방이어서 숨을 크게 들이쉬면 말이죠.
This room was made from the stinkiest flower in the village.
이렇게 꽃내음이 코끝을 타고 퍼져요. 다른 건물은 안 그러는데 말이죠.
That does sound nice. I want to get more incense. I love incense, and I love sandalwood specifically, but I just don't have the opportunity to get it very often.
과히 그렇구려. 보이지도 않는 것이 제법 향기롭소.
Redolence. What a nice word. This place is huge too. You've been living here alone all along?
네. 더 넓은 방에서 지내라고 하셨지만 여기가 마음에 들어서요.
Cozy as far as you're concerned?
도련님, 오랜만에 인사드립니다. 스빈입니다.
Ah, that lady who told him that that kid was totally fine and didn't die from the poison branch. Oh, hey, is she?
스빈, 잘 지냈어?
네, 평소와 같았습니다.
Zarin watched us emotionlessly as our rowdy crowd poured into the yard. Her expression did not change even when she saw Honglu, who presumably hadn't been home in quite some time.
이분들은 도련님의 손님이신가요? 방을 안내해드리겠습니다. 따라오시죠.
She's a professional to a concerning degree.
저는 따로 방문할 때가 있어서요. 금방 다녀올게요.
Gonna go see the elders?
어디를 가시는 겐가? 우리도 함께.
Don Quixote's like, but I want to go too. I want to see things.
아, 괜찮아요.
Honglu's like, no, it's fine. Honestly, I insist.
어르신들께 문안 인사를 드리는 것뿐인 거라 혼자 가는 편이 좋아요.
자, 뭐 어느 작전이나 그랬지만
But
이렇게 현장까지 직접 와서야 겨우 실감이 나네요.
I'm wondering how much the atmosphere is going to change when we reveal that we're a part of the hierarchy evaluations. And also that we're here for the Golden Bow, although I guess we're not going to tell them that as such. Also, where is the Golden Bow? It's going to be like the reward for winning, isn't it? Alongside becoming head of the wing. It's like, oh, and we pass down this thing to you and it's the fucking Golden Bow. So we're going to need to figure out how to get it. Because I just don't see Honglu winning the hierarchy evaluations. Also, how can he? Because winning the hierarchy evaluations would require him to become the head of this corporation, of this faction, and he can't because he's in Limbus Company and has to stay there. So, this isn't going to resolve well. I just don't see it happening.
가주 대전 말씀인 거죠?
다른 후보들은 이것 하나만을 위해 몇 년을 준비해왔다고 하니까요. 저희는 그걸 하룻밤 만에 해내야만 하는 거고요.
Now, on previous occasions, I've always been like, oh, Ishmael, you're always fretting over stuff, and we'll just wing it, we'll be fine, we'll do what we can. She has a right to be concerned here. And I'm not saying she didn't have a right before, but she definitely does now, because we barely understand what the family hierarchy war entails. We don't know what the challenges are, we don't know, or even if there are challenges, is it a series of challenges? Is it just a fighting arena? We know nothing at this point. Honglu knows stuff, sure, but he's never actually done it personally, so he's not got first-hand experience. We know absolutely nothing about it. We know absolutely nothing about the people we're competing against. We know nothing really about the customs of H-Corp either. We are absolutely blind going into this, which is a lot of fun, don't you think?
나는 벼락치기 타입이어서 그런가 그렇게 생각하니까 오히려 자신감이 붙는데?
You're a girl after my own heart, as you always are.
부조리한 상황에서 임무를 수행해야 하는 것은 이번이 처음이 아니다.
And you're damn right, Maso. This is our standard operational practice.
상관없지 않겠나. 어차피 우리가 노리는 것은
Is to have fun.
가주의 자리가 아니지 않나.
True. We're only here for a bow. A few hours ago, can we know the flashbacks?
천만 다행이지 않겠어요? 그래도 저희의 목표가 가주 대전의 1등이 아니라는 게
Indeed.
1등을 할 필요가 없다는 말인 겐가?
Nope, we just need to participate.
당연하죠. 저희가 왜 수감자를 홍원의 가주로 만들겠어요?
I mean, to be fair, the amount of power that Limbus Company would wield if Hong Lu was at the head of the company, that's quite significant, although at the end of the day it just may not play into their interests, because they'd have to manage H-Corp as well. And that basically requires them to get involved with the, I guess it's a Cold War between the corps, which would require a lot of management and resources, and presumably it's not what Limbus is here for.
외부인을 앉히는 것보다는 회사 소속의 인물을 날개의 대표로 앉혔을 때 안정적으로 조종할 수 있지 않나.
If we were looking for control, then yes, absolutely.
일이 그렇게 간단하게 굴러가지는 않죠. 그리고 LCB는 LCB로서 해야 하는 일이 아직도 많은걸요.
It's true.
그러면 뭐 우승 그러니까 1등이 아니어도 뭔가 떨어지는 게 있으니까 하는 거겠지?
Is there a consolation prize, like a nice keychain, perhaps?
가주 심사에서 10등 안에 든 사람은 순위 순서로 가문의 창고에서 원하는 물건을 하나 가져갈 수 있는 포상을 받거든요.
So we want to get as high up in the top 10 as possible so that we can grab the golden bow. Okay, I get it.
하지만 2등 안에는 들어야 안전하게 저희가 원하는 물건을 확보할 수 있을 거라는 결론을 냈습니다.
That makes sense. Okay, I like it. I like the idea of it. We also have to make sure we don't overperform, because if we win, that's not great.
아, 괜히 기분 잡치네. 까짓 거 1등 해봐?
I mean, would we not have the right, if we shot for the top and then just went, you know what, we'll just take the bow and the person below us can take the seat, as it were? I don't think that'd go down very well. I feel like there'd be some offended looks in the room.
못 보던 사이에 자신감이 어마어마하게 느셨군요.
We have fought a lot of big things since our last operation together.
뭐 별별 일 다 겪긴 했지. 우리가
Exactly that, yeah.
그리고 그 홍원의 어마어마한 만물 창고에 어떤 것이 있었게요?
The GameCube?
황금거주요.
Yeah, that.
네, 그 진정한 가치도 모른 채 다른 보물들 사이에 파묻혀 있는 상태랍니다.
Well, I was gonna say that maybe we don't even need to come second because no one else would appreciate or understand its true value. But then I remembered that one of Honglu's relations, I can't remember what relation they are to him specifically, but one of them is working for N-Corp, so they would understand the value of the Golden Bow and are probably going to be competing. I'd be very fucking surprised if they weren't involved in this.
그래서 파우스트, 아까 소드 과장이 말한 1차전의 작전이라는 건 뭐지?
Does she want us to do what we did in Kanto 2, which is fucking go wild and figure it out as we go?
그러고 보니 파우스트 양에게 넌 짓이 이해했냐는 듯 묻고 넘어갈 뿐 우리에게 말하지는 않았구려.
Well, would they not bring in Yi Sang on the idea? He's a smart guy. He could do it.
가주 심사 1차전의 내용은 지금까지 후손들이 100원의 어르신들을 위해 준비해왔던 것을 시험하는 자리입니다.
And you two are trying to figure out where you could get a GameCube last minute. Well, the descendants have prepared, huh? So this must be what Jia Shun's been referring to this whole time.
네, 불로불사에 관한 것이죠.
That's a pretty powerful gift to provide, I would say.
즉, 각자가 생각하고 있는 진정한 불로불사란 무엇인가에 대한 답을 보이는 자리입니다.
Well, the GameCube is the perfect example of true immortality because people will always remember the GameCube as one of the best consoles ever. Much like the N64, much like the PS2, Much like the PS1, much like the SNES. Right, so what's the answer to true immortality then?
그건 파우스트도 내놓을 수 없는 답입니다.
42.
뭐 하자는
Why doesn't the Gesellschaft have the answer to this question?
다만 진정한 블로불사의 실마리가 있는 듯 흉내를 내볼 수는 있죠.
I think I get what Faust is saying. Usually we're trying to hide the fact that Dante can resurrect people, but this time we're going to show it off. We're going to kill one of the sinners in front of them and then have Dante turn the clock. And be like, yo, immortality of a sort.
답을 원하는 건 그들이니 우리를, 정확히 말하자면 홍로 씨를 떨어뜨리진 않을 겁니다.
그럴듯해 보인다면 악착같이 매달릴 테니까 그런 이야기인가?
Yes, yes.
그렇습니다.
그 가모인가는 제일 높아 보이는 사람도 그 녀석을 많이 아낀다며. 가산점 같은 걸 줄지 어떻게 알아?
I mean, wouldn't you give Honglu bonus points just for showing up?
홍로 그자가 중요한 쓰임새가 된다는 거군.
Evidently.
그건
네, 맞아요. 이제 제 차례가 돌아온 거죠.
The time has come.
언제 오셨어요?
Sinclair, bruv, relax. It's fine. Honglu nonchalantly chimed into the conversation, having slipped in between us unnoticed. Hey, you're back pretty soon? Huh. Unfortunately, what Otis just said could sound quite crass depending on how you cut it. Honglu, you don't have to... don't mind what she just said, it's fine.
걸러들을 필요가 없었는걸요?
I think you will forget that Honglu is incapable of a strong reaction.
저의 쓰임새는 홍원에 있는 황금가지를 회수하기 위한 것, 그리고 그러기 위해 가주대전에 나가는 것이니까요. 그릇된 말은 아니랍니다.
I kind of looked down and looked up as I clicked forward, but I noticed his facial expression. I think, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, it did just shift to be more neutral. Somehow even less emotion. Colder, maybe. Your use.
이왕 쓰이는 거 모두가 기뻐할 수 있는 쪽으로 흘러가게 되면 좋겠네요.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
모두가 기뻐하기에는 시춘군 아까도 눈이 마주쳤는데 엄청 생콧김을 내면서 피해버렸소만.
She did. Almost as if we betrayed her or something.
시춘이하고는
Honglu's eyes twinkled briefly, as though he was shifting into a dream.
다시 사이가 좋아지게 될 줄은 몰랐어요.
And yet, it almost happened.
비록 지금은 다시 원래 상태로 되돌아갔지만 잠깐이라도 꼭 어린 시절로 돌아간 것 같았거든요.
That must have been nice.
이제는 까마득하고 다시 오지 않을 시절이죠.
방금 뭐라고 했어? 지금 제정신으로 그 말을 나한테 한 거야?
How did you fuck this up, Honglu?
바보 같은 질문을 했네. 오빠는 평생 취한 적도 없을 테니까 언제나 또렷하고 맑은 정신이었겠지.
So what did he say?
어차피 내가 이렇게 화내고 소리 질러도 오빠에겐 아무런 타격도 없을 거 아니야. 도대체 그날 무슨 일이 있었길래 사람이...
So something happened, obviously, to make him this way.
시춘, 나는
The face is impassive. There is a twinkle of emotion, but I almost think, looking at it at the moment, and the more I see and hear of Honglu, the more this is starting to feel like the case. It feels like in some cases he's simply emoting, not having emotions. He's not literally feeling emotions. He's just displaying the emotion he thinks is appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, he's almost like fairly neutral, but he will like frown or, you know, like his eyebrows are really the only way we can see proper emotion going on here, but he will kind of display an emotion he thinks is appropriate. He acknowledges this situation as Zishan being upset, so he's kind of showing a more concerned expression, but I'm not sure he's actually feeling it. Something's happened to him where he just simply can't. It just simply doesn't happen. He just doesn't feel it. So it's almost, and this is delving into territory I'm not overly personally familiar with and knowledgeable about, so you'll have to bear with me on this. I'm fully willing to admit my mistakes on this subject, 100%. But it almost kind of leans into sociopathy, where he just doesn't feel it. It's just not there. but he can pretend, at least. A lot of sociopaths in real life are very good at pretending to have emotions, at pretending to feel, at pretending to be empathetic, just because they understand people, not necessarily understanding what they feel, but they understand how people work. And it goes from there. And I wonder if that might be Honglu's thing, if he's just kind of a sociopath, or what happened made him a sociopath. Kind of artificially rather than naturally, if you know what I mean. It's just a fucking theory, don't, you know, we'll fucking see, and some of you might already know. I know more of the Kanto is out already, but the thought popped into my head and I wanted to share it with you.
됐어, 마음대로 해. 제대로 된 가족이 한 명쯤은 있을 거라 기대한 내 잘못이지.
What do you mean? Everyone in this family seems lovely. In that memory, Honglu was wearing a quiet smile even before her hushed anger. But don't you want to be friends with her again? To the point where he might even be asking himself now, not, do I want to be friends with her again? He's asking himself, do I care? Does it matter either way? Why would it matter? Or even more pressingly, why does it not matter? It's possible that a lot of his inner turmoil that we aren't seeing is him not understanding why he can't fucking feel anything, or understanding why but wrestling with it. He wants to feel something, but there's nothing there. There's just nothing. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of assumptions right now.
결국 사람과의 연이란 것도 순간이고 찰나일 뿐일 텐데요.
It's easy to dismiss those connections as something temporary and fleeting if you feel very little about them. You know?
그러니 저의 뜻이 어떻든 큰 상관이 없답니다.
Is he acknowledging the facts that, you know, at the end of the day, what he wants doesn't matter because what will be? Or is it a kind of deflection where he's like, well, of course I want that, he says, implying that this is the case, but in reality he doesn't really care either way because he physically can't. I don't know. Honglu. A sinner so aloof, so detached that it feels as though he's always floating through the clouds. I once thought that was just the kind of guy he was, someone who just happened to be above everything that's happening around us, instead of just another messed up person with messed up problems of their own. But slowly and gradually, I had begun to realize that there was something off about him under the surface. Yeah. Honglu, about participating in the family hierarchy war, we might have to kill your family members, it's no big deal. Do you really not feel anything about it? Have you completely excluded yourself from it?
네, 그냥 그런 거구나라고 생각하고 있어요.
It's casual, it's aloof, because he's not going to get worked up about it because he doesn't feel anything about it, so why would he?
관리자님, 애초에 저자의 가치 판단이 이 회사에 유의미한 영향을 끼칠 수는 없을 겁니다.
Uh-huh.
파우스트도 동의합니다. 수감자에게 작전 수행에 대한 거부권은 존재하지 않으므로.
Yeah, but Dante's very much doing their job, and doing it with gusto now, which they kind of have been doing since midway through Canto 5, I want to say, when they really started to understand what they needed to do, which is to be more of a counselor to the fucking sinners than an actual manager, as it were. They do managerial stuff, don't get me wrong, but a massive important part of their job now is actually counseling their fucking sinners. And they're trying to do it here as well. They're trying to understand Honglu, which feels impossible, to be honest, without more context.
그건 사실일 테요. 허나
Like, Dante would have liked to have been there more for Yi Sang, but still wasn't sure how to approach that or even if they should. It worked out, and it wasn't until Ishmael's turn that Dante realized they really did need to get involved.
그에 따르는 마음의 상태까지 무시할 필요는 없다고 보.
It's important.
마음의 상태라. 하지만 구태여 마음을 들여다보기에 괴로움이 생기는 것 아닐까요?
That's the thing. Is it sociopathy or is it willful ignorance? Is it something literally stopping him from feeling, or is it him literally pushing it all down super hard? Or perhaps the eye helps him push it down super hard. I don't know. It's not. It might not even be the eye. I don't know. But something makes him not really feel anymore. To me, it's probably to mold him into the perfect candidate to take over the family or perform some other role, perhaps.
그것이 무슨...
이곳 대관원에서 머물고 있었을 때는 말이죠.
Of course, Yi Sang, as someone who's very in touch with his emotions, and even more so after Canto 4, would find Honglu's state and way of thinking to be utterly alien. Like, that is inconceivable to to Yi Sang. They've both got two-word names. You can see my confusion. But yeah, that would be so weird and unnatural to Yi Sang, because the dude is just... he's a poetry book on legs, you know? He's always got something waxful and lyrical to say about the soul, whereas Honglu has a lot of wisdom with no passion, no feeling, no desire.
제게는 수많은 선택지가 끊임없이 지나쳐가곤 했어요. 다른 가문의 그 아이를 죽여야 하는지, 제가 살아남아야 하는지, 죽어가는 저 아이를 두고 그냥 지나쳐야 할지, 도와주어야 할지.
Do you engage with the war, as it were, or do you just ignore it?
처음에는 제가 무언가 선택해보려 했답니다. 하지만 그 선택이 아무 의미가 없다는 걸 아는 것에 그리 오랜 시간이 걸리진 않았어요.
Ah.
그래서 저는 어떤 것도 택하지 않기로 했답니다.
Okay.
그게 지금의 저예요.
So you could say, and the irony is not lost on me, given the series that this takes place in and we're playing, the Honglu willingly, not literally, unless something was done to him to actually literally make this happen, we don't know yet, but kind of willingly lobotomized himself. Kind of. Not quite. I'm just throwing the term out because it's applicable to the grander scheme of things, but he chose not to choose. He chose to become passive. He chose to take a backseat to everything.
림버스 컴퍼니에 입사하게 된 후에 좋았던 점은 수도 없이 많지만
Really? Name 5. Yeah, you can't.
제가 무언가 선택하지 않아도 된다는 점이 특히 좋았던 것 같아요.
You were grateful to have your direction in life chosen for you. Which is a surprisingly common sentiment in the current day. A lot of people don't like being given the choice, or don't, maybe, it's hard to say. People don't like being forced to choose what direction their life's gonna go in at like 18. Or 16, actually, more likely in Britain, to be honest, because secondary school finishes at 16 and it's like, right, well, you better start making some fucking decisions about what you're doing with your life. And people sometimes quite like having that direction chosen for them. An opportunity will pop up, like, oh, hey, there's a job opening over here. You want this job? And they're like, cool, yeah, I'll do that. All right, now I don't have to think about what I'm doing next. And I was like this for many years until I chose to start making videos. I was like, oh, I'll just work, I guess, and I don't know, I'll figure it out, but I have no idea what I want to do. And then I found out. It took a while. There's no rush, ever, to figure out what you want to do, but this is definitely getting off topic.
조금 이상한 것 같은데요?
Yeah, no shit.
어라? 분위기가 조용해졌네요?
사담은 여기까지 하도록 하죠. 해야 할 이야기가 많습니다.
Personal time is over.
그럼 1차 대전의 계획에 대해 말씀드리죠.
Okay. The next morning... There's still some time until we have to leave.
밤에는 잘 보이지 않았지만 이 허수아비들은 무엇이요?
I wonder if they have scarecrows, so like if someone's trying to sneak into your house but they can see figures in the darkness, like they know they might be scarecrows, but they also might be people and it's kind of a deterrent. Or I'm reading into it way too much.
아, 아직도 있었네요.
Wow.
이곳의 자재들이 거처하는 건물 앞에는 이런 식의 연무장이 마련되어 있어요.
Uh-huh.
걷고 뛸 나이가 될 쯤엔 누구나 이 허수아비들이랑 놀곤 한답니다.
They get to beat up the scarecrows. Good times.
놀이라. 조기 교육은 중요하지.
Yeah, teach them to fight young. Learn to fight before I knew love or bitterness of coffee.
허수아비랑 어떻게 노는 것인가? 그나저나 이 허수아비는 참 근사한 모자를 쓰고 있군.
Most dashing piece of fashion.
아, 그건 제가 7살 때 처음 받았던 허수아비예요.
Fun.
그때는 말이죠. 허수아비도 때리면 아파하는 줄 알았답니다.
모든 어린아이가 처음에는 그리 생각했을 것이요.
그럼 여기에 태어나는 아이들은 어렸을 때부터 이렇게 자라야 하는 거야?
That's really not surprising given the circumstances, given the situation, given everything here.
아, 그건 아니에요.
Come to think of it, it feels like that would be required for everyone in the city just to survive their day-to-day lives. walk down the street, you better know how to use dual knives, a spear, a sword, a gun, and a club. Because you might be attacked and you need to use everything you can get your hands on.
우와, 이거는 할머니가 형한테 선물로 주셨다는 게.
These are tiny children. Why do I get the impression that's Chew? And I only say that because of the hair, which is not a good indicator because Honglu's is very similar. But I'm gonna make that my little headcanon until the game confirms or refutes it.
맞아. 그런데 아직 쓰임새는 잘 모르겠어.
You have to punch it in its face.
옷 같은 걸 입혀주거나 장신구를 매달아주는 인형 아니겠어?
Alright, yeah, dress up doll. That's fun.
보평 집을 지켜주는 수호신 같은 걸지도 몰라.
Guardian spirits are cool.
얼씨구.
Ah, jeez.
이건 말이지. 이렇게 쓰는 거라고.
Don't punch the dummy.
형이 할머니가 준 선물을 때렸어. 그렇게 하면 아파하지 않을까?
아파해? 참나.
Come on, man. You're dealing with kids. Think about it.
이렇게 자라나야 살아남을 수 있다는 게 더 정확할 거예요.
Turns out it's necessary.
생각보다 제대로 된 수목인이군.
Wooden training dummy? 하하!
생각보다 정교하게 설계된 물건 같은데. 출발하기까지 제법 시간이 남았으니 사용해보는 것도 나쁘지 않겠군.
Wait, are we gonna do a combat section that is just hitting the wooden dummies?
땀내는 거 싫은데.
It's probably gonna get worse than that, you realize.
뭐 위험한 것도 아니고 컨디션도 체크할 겸 써보는 것도 괜찮겠네요.
You know what? This all actually calls to mind a point that I'd like to raise. These guys don't train. Ever. Where would we train on the bus? We train by fighting, I guess, learn through doing, I suppose, but none of them train. Now, to be fair, most of them are experienced combatants, like, you know, looking at Otis, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, Ishmael, Heathcliff, Gregor, most of them, if not all of them. I'd say maybe Sinclair and Yisang kind of being exceptions here. They're all experienced combatants even before they joined Limbus Company, but they don't train. Maybe they should? Even if you're significantly weaker than you used to be, if you have good form, that can go a long way.
들었나 제군들. 지금부터 우리는 관리자님의 명령에 따라 전력으로 허수아비를 상대한다.
Did I give that order? Hey, I didn't even give an order. Oh well, it won't hurt to get our blood pumping now.
선언 돌격!
Charge the dummy. Do it. Heathcliff, I'm gonna need you to use a hyperpulverization round on this dummy. Oh, they do counter. Right, yeah, because are they the type of dummies that like spin and shit? Interesting. Yeah, they have moves. Yeah, they got moves. Offense level down. We got new music as well. If this unit failed to hit with a skill, gain clash power up next turn equal to the number of turns this unit failed to hit. If this unit hits an enemy with a skill, reset the above stack. If this unit was hit by 4 or more attack skills, so all enemies that attack this unit apply 1 damage up next turn for every unit. Every turn this unit was hit. If this unit was hit by 3 or fewer attack skills, reset the above stack. Okay, how many are there going to be? 11. I think we'll be alright. We can mark targets. Oh yeah, that's a full Pride Resonance. With 4 absolutes, so that's not bad. If you guys lose to the dummies, I'm quitting this game immediately. That was not bad. That was alright. That was decent. You guys did good. Hey, look at that. That seemed unnecessary. Come on, Ishmael. Yes. Ooh. Good job, actually. She brought it back. Nice. Appreciate that. I like that melee support comes in even if it fails. It makes a lot of sense. It should. No chance. This is such a waste of money. Oh, my mortgage.
깔끔한
Wow.
헤드샷. 머리통에 작살났다고.
Heathcliff does a lot of damage. More combat training. How much training are we gonna do? We should probably get in there, yes? Someone mentioned have Heathcliff at the end of
지휘를
the
받는 건 오랜만이네요.
oh bollocks, I realize what I've done now. Have Heathcliff at the end of the standard deployment so he has less skills, so he wastes less of his ammo. Which makes sense.
깔끔한 헤드샷. 머리통에 작살났다고.
부드러지게.
Yeah, this team fucking rules. That was like, what, 1000% extra damage from Heathcliff on that fucking sniper shot?
상쾌하군.
How very refreshing. Oh, yes. Heathcliff wasted enough money to feed everyone in every back streets for a year. That was a good training session, right, fellows?
오, 잠이 깨긴 하네 이거.
I suppose they do.
매번 큰일 있기 전에 시비나 걸리고 시작하니까 결국 이렇게까지 몸을 풀어야 직성이 풀리게 되어버렸네요.
I guess, yeah, they do get in so many fights that is there really any point in training? Honestly, half the time, they'd probably be better off resting. Boxers will fucking rest for like a month between bouts and shit, and that's maybe the other end of the extreme, but maybe they do just fight so often that downtime should just be downtime. Don't want to gas yourself.
그래도 유의미한 준비 운동이었다.
그런데 홍루 씨는 왜 지금까지 가주대전에 참가를 할 생각이 없었던 건가요?
Because it was a massive faff and he was like, nah.
다른 형제자매분들은 아주 오래전부터 기다려왔던 것 같아서요.
Perhaps it was the one choice he felt like he could make.
단순해요. 가주가 되고 싶다고 생각한 적은 한 번도 없었으니까요.
Well, there you go.
정말로 다행이지 않니? 옥을 물고 태어나지 않았다면 영락없이 네 다른 형제 자매처럼 가주대전을 준비하며 힘든 시간을 겪어야 했을 거란다.
Huh. What does the Jade give him?
너는 그런 것에 힘쓰지 않아도 집안 어르신분들과 가모님이 너를 아껴줄 거란다. 그저 많은 것을 보며 살아가다오. 우리 집안의 옥, 소중한 보가.
Does it perhaps guarantee him the position later in life? And he's like, I don't even want it anyway, so... More memories. What's wrong, Yi-sang? You seem kinda distraught.
어제 파우스트 양이 일컬어 주었던 계획 말이요.
The one where we have to cut Hongler's head off and then revive him? Maybe we shouldn't use Hongler. They might freak out before we get to fix it.
나는 사실 그리 탐탁지가 않소.
It is murder, even if we do immediately bring them back.
저도요. 하지만 홍루 씨가 괜찮다고 하셨으니까요.
Yeah, but Hongler will agree to everything. That doesn't count.
그런데 그걸 계획이라고 부를 수가 있는 건가요?
Probably not.
행동의 지침과 기대 목표가 있으니 계획이라는 정의에는 들어맞는다.
You do make an excellent point, Merso. You do.
그리고 가주대전에 두 번째 기회라는 건 없으니까요.
So make sure you kill him properly.
보트라님 외 12인 철벽당 입성하십니다.
Elevated Virescent Jade Hall, Tubatang. Ah. It's suddenly a lot more intense looking, isn't it? We entered the hall where the first round was to be held. As always, the servant by the gate announced our arrival with the resounding holler we'd grown to expect and appreciate.
투기장이나 경기장 같은 형태인가. 보는 눈이 제법 많은 것 같습니다, 관리자님.
I always love a good arena arc, you know? They're fun. I like them. Tournament arcs, I think they're actually called. I like tournaments. Tournaments are fun. I appreciate them. I looked up to see that the audience seats, which were brimming with people, were divided into stair-like terraces, and on the platform at the opposite end of the hall, 3 shadows of chairs could be seen cast on the obscuring curtain fabric. As for us, we followed the attendant's guidance and stood next to the other participants at the circular area in the center. So the evaluation's happening past those curtains? Hongler's, I don't know, maybe. Oh, Dayu. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See someone you recognize?
아니요. 괜찮아요, 단테님.
He regains his composure very quickly.
다시 만나도 마땅히 할 이야기가 없거든요.
That says to me you actually have a lot to talk about.
인연이 있다면 이야기할 기회가 닿을 테죠.
If fate wills it,
시작하나 보네요.
maybe. The curtain slid open and the old woman we saw from yesterday's banquet walked out to the platform.
나는 운이 따라주어 오래전 가모의 자리에 올랐지만은 장관 세월이 지나 이제는 이 자리를 내려놓고 산하를 흘러다니려 한다.
Have a nice time, maybe wake up late and have a light breakfast sometimes. You know, the quiet life.
그리하여 앉았던 자리는 공석이 될진저 자격을 갖춘 자는 이를 메워야 할지니.
It's a pretty big fucking deal.
가씨, 설씨, 왕씨, 사씨가의 기둥들로 이루어진 이 대관원에 우리가 하루도 잊지 않고 추구하던 하나의 질문에 대한 답을.
So Honglu is born of Jia and Wang. I guess they might have some sort of succession rules where it's like they take the father's family name. I don't know. We'll probably find out more about that later.
그대들은 전력을 다하여 찾아왔을 것이라 믿는다.
To prove that the answer indeed exists, is there a video game console with its very own handle? He's like, there's no such thing, it's impossible. Why would you put a handle on a games console? Who's the woman next to her?
아, 제 첫째 누나인 원춘 누나예요.
Yuan Shun? Ah.
큐사에 아주 높으신 분과 혼례를 치른 후 쭉 큐사에서 지내시다가 발걸음을 하셨나 보네요.
It is quite a big deal.
비록 다른 둥지에 머물고 있던 몸이지만 고륙의 정을 나누고 천륜의 지성을 다할 수 있도록 잠시 자리하였으니
She says, reading the writing that she has scribbled on her hand.
최선을 다해 진리를 살피겠노라.
Indeed.
누군가는 순조롭게, 누군가는 천만고비 끝에 이 해답을 가져왔을 터.
So what forms does immortality take in this world?
하지만 1차 심사의 기회는 단 한 번뿐. 그럼에도 그대들은 모두 이곳 대관원의 후계자들이었으며 탈락마저도 대관원의 부흥이 되리라.
Don't worry, lads. Even if you lose, we win.
이제부터 호명하는 순서대로 나와 불로, 불사, 장생의 진귀한 해답을 시연하거라.
Marvelous.
시연이 불가하다면 거짓 없는 증거를 내보여야 한다.
Oh, we'll present proof, don't you worry. We've got proof.
놓치지 말고 버리지 말라. 젊음은 영원 무궁하리라.
After their respective speeches, Jia Yushun and Jiamu, I always fuck up her name for some reason, disappeared behind the curtains atop the platform.
첫 번째 참가자.
First candidate is me! And clearly I'm immortal, look how smooth my skin is. It seems that Honglu's father assumed the role of the host for the first round.
왕씨 가문의 인.
Ren of the Wang family. Oh no, it's a Dweebenheimer! Wang Ren, the first to be summoned, walked up to the platform. Behind him was his faction, who were dragging someone by a rope toward the platform. Oh cool, he's a morally bankrupt Dweebenheimer.
빨리 와라, 멍청한 것.
누구를 데려가는 거죠?
I think they're planning something rather similar to what we're doing. I don't know if theirs will work though. Are they just gonna bring a fucking K-Corp ampoule up there and be like, look, it does it? And they're gonna be like, do you think we aren't aware of K-Corp ampoules?
저 정도의 움직임이면 강제로 끌고 가는 것 같다만.
I think that is safe to assume, yes.
불로불사.
How about that?
태어날 때 주어진 몸뚱아리 이상의 단계로 진보를 꿈꾸는 건 어느 날개나 가지고 있는 수관인가 봐. 홍원의 불로불사도 그런 맥락이겠지.
It's not that unique, certainly.
성자, 피주머니를 데려왔군.
Oh. Not just any battered corpse, but a blood bag. Okay. That's when we were finally able to recognize who the candidate dragged up to the stage. The eyes unfocused and red, mouth slick with drool dribbling down the mouth guard, meaningless snarling. That is a mindless blood bag.
혈귀가 불로불사의 답이 될 수 있는 것이요.
It does make sense. Don Quixote is still alive, is she not? And she's been around for a while.
일반 사람들의 시선에서는 블루와 가깝게 느껴질 수도 있겠지만
It just comes at a different cost, of course.
저희는 이미 알고 있다시피 혈귀 또한 피를 섭취하지 못하면 늙고 쇠약해집니다.
But it is technically an answer, to be fair.
짐작컨대 저들이 원하는 답과는 한참 멀 것이라고 예상되는군요.
Are they looking for a perfect answer? I mean, they're looking for as perfect an answer as possible, certainly, but I don't think the three of them are sat there thinking that someone's gonna walk in here with the literal fucking fountain of youth and be like, yes, you've done it, well done, we will all live forever now. I would like to think they are at least somewhat realistic and being like, well, yes, a blood fiend is technically an option, but obviously it comes with its faults, but you've proven you've understood the assignment, so you pass to the next round? I don't know. After some struggle, the blood bag was dragged kicking and growling past the curtains atop the platform.
저것이 소문으로나 들리던 혈귀라는 것인가?
Not quite, it's a blood bag, they are a bit different.
저걸로 되겠나? 아는 사람이 몇 없긴 해도 심사를 맡고 계신 분들에겐 고리타분한 주제일 텐데 말이야.
So presumably this Dweebenheimer has a trick up his sleeve.
왕가 녀석 퍽이나 절박했나 본데.
저거는 게으른 거 아니면 보질한 것이야.
Can't he be both?
생각보다 혈귀에 대해 아는 이들이 많구려.
Wouldn't surprise me.
본래 혈기는 각 둥지에 퍼져 있으니 알만한 자는 아는 것도 무리가 아닐 걸세.
After a brief moment that lasted less than a minute, Wang Ren and his faction emerged from behind the curtains and descended from the platform.
가주 심사 후보 왕인 결과를 기다리기 위해 자리에 서라.
I'm sure this went well. Then they ascended to the round podium behind the platform as ordered.
왕인 가주 심사 1차 결과.
So if you fail, do you immediately get executed? Because that'd be pretty funny. Elimination, you fucking dweeb.
안 돼. 피. 무한한 피만 있으면 이들은 영원할 거라니까요, 가모님.
There are many problems with that.
아니,
Nay.
영원하지 않을 거라네. 심사하는 자들의 비원, 진정한 불로불사가 무엇인지는 본인도 모르네만 피에 종속되어 영혼을 고통받는 혈기는 그 방법에 손꼽힐 수 없네.
It is technically long-term sustainable, and it also isn't, right? Because nothing draws more attention than a trail of corpses, right? Eventually, it would result in reprisals or attempts to exploit the fact that they are a blood fiend, even just to reveal their true nature to the public, which would cause them to lose much standing. And also, you know, just the act of having to drink blood for that long to kill people in order to sustain your own life. It's just not great. Now, I don't really expect like the heads of corpse to care about that kind of thing, even in real life, especially not in this setting, but it's too messy, I think, is the problem. And also, there is some, like, allusion to honor here, and they would see this, like, killing people and drinking their blood as being beneath them, I think.
하지만 기억은 그대로 가지고 있다고 사냥꾼 놈들이.
Well, the problem, bruv, as well, is that you brought a blood bag, not a blood fiend. If you brought a blood fiend, we might have had more of a conversation.
모든 욕망과 감정의 방향이 피로 귀결되어 비틀어질 거다.
Yeah, there's that as well. Yeah.
끝없이 불행한 삶만이 남았다면 모를까. 저렇게 놓고 싶지 않은 것으로 가득한 자들에게 혈기가 되라 말하는 것은
If you're already doing well, there's no need to do this.
불로불사를 주는 것이 아니라 정신의 족쇄를 채워 피의 노예가 되어라 재촉하는 것과
Of course, Don Quixote / Sancho resents the idea of being a blood fiend and what it means, but of course she took it because she had no other choice and it gave her a family. I'm sure she doesn't regret the decision, but she acknowledges how bad it is.
보옥의 세력원이 훌륭한 답변을 주었으니 더 말할 것도 없겠구나.
Wow, I didn't know she was actually addressing the entire room. Good job, Don Quixote. That was very well delivered.
하물며 진짜 고위 혈귀를 데려온 것 또한 피주머니를 데려왔으니 성의 또한 부족하다 보이는구나.
Yeah, this was a very lazy attempt to present the concept as well, because it was a fucking blood bag. If anything, what you brought was a prime example of the depraved bullshit you would have to do to maintain your youth as a blood fiend.
왕가인, 진작 탈락한 자에게 걸맞지 않은 이유를 친히 알리셨으니 이를 생애 마지막의 은혜로 하시게.
Let this be the final blessing of your life? Oh, do they actually execute them? Fun. The podium suddenly opens under their feet, casting Wang Ren and the blood bag to its depths with a blood-curdling screech. What a loser. So that's what happens when you fail to pass. It would have been nice if someone had mentioned this beforehand.
이거 그냥 극적인 연출을 위한 거지? 저기 떨어져도 다시 올려보내주는 거지?
그럴 리가. 구멍 아래에서부터 지독하게 고인 고통의 냄새가 퍼지잖나.
Nah, they're for real.
류슈도 참 점점 살벌한 농담이 늘고 있다니까.
These are some very nasty and extremely accurate jokes you're telling.
저 발판 아래는 어디로 이어지는 거지? 낙함으로 추측 건데 제법 깊은 곳까지 이어진 것 같다만.
Sounds like it.
아마도 가문의 오래된 비밀들이 있는 장소일 거예요. 아, 당연히 보물 같은 건 아니랍니다. 보통 사람들이 알려고 든다면 흑수들이 찾아오는 정도려나요?
I'm sure the more you look into it, the higher the chance that a member of the Heishu pack would actually personally introduce you to what's down there, much the same way that Wang Ren found out what was down there, yes?
본격적으로 준비했네요.
It's big business. This is a serious deal.
그래. 그리고 그 본격적인 준비, 우리가 당할 수도 있는 거고.
It's distinctly possible. The next candidate was summoned before we were even able to shake off the initial shock.
두 번째 참가자, 설씨 가문의.
Ah. We sat through a few more names and subsequent failures. Oh wow, a lot of people fail round one? We couldn't hear what exactly they were talking about beyond the curtains, and unlike the very loud and obvious blood bag, the answers other candidates brought were less obvious, so... all we had to go on were the shadows of their desperate attempts to explain things before the judges.
또냐?
Another one. Maybe no one wins this... I was gonna say this year, this isn't a yearly event. No one wins this time.
찔리고 지루하다는 뜻이다.
Boring! The longer we watched the death toll rise, the less shocking they became.
아 이거 합격이란 게 있긴 있는 거야?
Maybe.
여덟 번째 참가자, 설씨 가문의 보차.
I think we're about to see a success.
어머, 아는 사람이다.
Oh no. Oh no. My brain didn't quite catch up. Oh no. She was technically our competition, but it seemed that she managed to give the sinners quite the positive impression with yesterday's brief encounter. Some of them were even cheering her on. We couldn't see exactly what it was that Zhu Baoshai brought, but she was also holding something as she entered past the curtains.
설가 보차, 심사 결과.
After her brief meeting with the judges, which, going by the shadows cast on the curtains, appeared to have gone better than we had expected, she emerged. And as soon as she did, Baoshai immediately turned in our direction, at Honglu to be exact.
보고 있었구나.
And began excitedly waving her hand.
합격.
Well, well, well. The podium beneath her remained shut.
그래도 잠깐이나마 인연을 맺었던 얼굴이 무적행으로 떨어지는 건 보고 싶지 않았기에.
It would have been pretty sad.
다행이구려.
Yeah.
17번째 참가자, 가시 가문의 시춘.
Okay, it would be a massive fucking power play from the writers to have Zishun fail in the first round and die. All that build-up, all that time we spend with her, all her significance to Hongle's, like, backstory and past and current, and then she just fails the first round and dies. It would be quite a play. Oh.
시춘 씨 차례인가 봐요.
I hope she's ready. She slowly ascended the platform, unaccompanied. She held in her hands a tightly sealed gourd bottle.
비로소 얻었나 보네요.
I guess so. She found the water from the river we saw in Don Quixote's memories back then.
말도 안 돼. 그 레테를?
Did she? It's starting to seem like she did. Can anyone prove she didn't, though?
정말 그곳에 도달했을 가능성은 한없이 낮습니다. 물론 천문학적 확률을 뚫고서 그 강까지 도달했을 확률까지 부정하진 않습니다만 저들의 역량으로 이 짧은 시간 동안 가장 깊은 곳 중 한 곳의 원료에 도달한다는 것은 파우스트로서도 상상하기 어렵군요.
And yet, she's here now with a tiny bottle, presumably with something in it that can guarantee either immortality or eternal youth or something along those lines, or lead to it, maybe.
모종의 방법을 통해 새어나오거나 맺혀진 일부를 채취한 것은 아닐지.
Sure.
근데 그 강물은 기억을 깊게 재워서 지워줄 뿐일 터 블루불사와 관계가 있는 겐가?
네, 아마도 저들이 원하던 정신의 불사와 밀접한 관계가 있을 테죠.
Ah.
그 정보를 알고 있는 이도 극소수인 만큼 저 병에 담긴 것이 유효하다면 파우스트 역시 합격률이 높다고 생각합니다.
Interesting, interesting.
가시 시춘 합격.
That's good. I didn't actually want her to fail. It would have been pretty upsetting.
귀한 걸 얻어왔구나. 네 세가로 이걸 얻으려면 보통의 노력으로는 안 되었을 텐데.
She did a big good.
감사합니다, 원춘 언니.
As Faust expected, all three judges appeared quite satisfied by what Jia Xishun brought before them. I'm starting to feel less good about R1 because it doesn't actually do anything for them. You know, we can't turn the clock on them. We can turn the clock on Honglu, but not them. Concerning. I'm a little nervous, even though we're obviously not going to fail and all die because then it would all be N Corp. Okay. Man, that's a stinger. We're obviously not going to fail and all die because then the story will be over, but I am still quite nervous about it.
그 다음 18번째 참가자
Honglu.
대체 몇 명이나 있는 거냐 이 집안 사람들은?
I know, right?
가시 가문의 환.
Jia Huan. Okay. Oh. Our first meeting with that man was less than amicable, and I had a strong feeling that another one wasn't going to do anything to improve that. Jia Huan walked up to the platform, accompanied by, I can't remember his name, but it's a silly name, but he looks fucking cool right now. We all fell silent hearing a familiar name. Fuckhead. I could feel that some sinners were growing tense, some of them even gritting their teeth. And the other man, closely following Jia Huan, holding what looked like the egg of an abnormality, was also a familiar face. I'd seen him many times in Yi Sang's memories.
저 사람들이 입고 온 거 보여요?
Is it ego?
에고 장비.
Yep.
LCE처럼 새로운 추출법을 알아냈거나 혹은 로보토미에서 구해온 곳으로 추정되는군요.
I'm sure it was one then the other. Gubo.
들고 있는 것은 환상체의 알인 듯 보이는구려.
Okay, it's probably an abnormality we haven't met yet. But is there an abnormality we're aware of who could provide any of those kinds of immortality? I wonder if the Child of the Galaxy could, but it would be a very risky one. Heart of Aspiration, perhaps? I don't know about that one. Could White Knight technically do it, as you would live forever as an apostle? But that wouldn't fulfill it, because it'd be like, yeah, but you're an apostle of White Knight, so it's not really, you know, doesn't really work. I just want him to walk in and hatch a nothing there in the middle of the room and then fucking leave. That'd be a play.
저걸 그대로 보여줄 셈인가?
It is pretty valuable. How's that an answer to everything or anything?
해석의 여지에 달렸지만
Mm-hmm.
환상체 역시 블로불사에 가까운 존재라 해석할 수도 있으니까요.
I mean, they never die.
어떤 환상체의 알인지가 관건이겠군.
Indeed.
하지만 제가 아는 가완 형이라면 실패할 거라고 생각되는 것엔 절대 목숨을 걸지 않을 거예요.
Yeah, he seems a bit too competent to rock up here with like telepole and just be like, yeah, see, it's immortal, so we win. Nah, he's got an angle. He knows what he's doing.
가시환 1차 심사 합격.
How truly shocking. Oh, I know what he's wearing. Fuck, I know what it is. I just can't remember the name. It was, we fought it in the Refraction Railway and it took me like 4 hours. Do you guys remember that one? I can't remember its name, but you know exactly who I mean. I used the 7 team and it took fucking ages. Oh, I can't remember the name, but you know exactly who I'm referring to. I think it's that abnormality anyway. It's a cool fucking suit. What's making me think that is the earring. I could be wrong, but that's the assumption I'm going with right now. Contrary to most of our wishes, Jia Huan managed to pass the first round as well. Many more candidates came and went. One of them carried a massive, mysterious coffin. Solemn lament, perhaps? Oh my god. Wang Dawei. You're a somber-looking motherfucker and very cool. One of them brought a thick book, and one of them presented a cage so tiny that we couldn't see what was within. Some of them managed to pass, while some of them were sent screaming into the mysterious abyss. As we waited and watched the candidates come and go, people from N-Corp, their turn complete, approached us. Of course they did.
아직 황혼이 되기에는 이른 시각일 터인데 다시 마주하는 것이 제법 이르구려.
Is he wearing Duflu shoots? Perchance? It kind of looks like Duflu shoots. As if to prove his own words back at the LCE that he's come to accept certain things as they are, Yi Sang coolly regarded his old friend who is now working for N-Corp.
알량하고 앙상한 새 쉼터가 턱 자네 마음에 든 모양이야. 그리 농하는 건 구인회가 무너진 뒤에 처음 보는 것 같으니.
He has new friends now, cooler friends, better friends than you.
어쩐 일로 내게 걸음한 것이여. 살갑게 담소를 나누기엔 쌓인 감정이 많지 않은가.
Interesting to see Yi Sang approach someone and basically say, albeit in a roundabout way, why are you talking to me? I don't like you. We're not friends. Not anymore.
내가 보자고 한 건 아니니 오해는 마시게. 내 팀메이트가 제 가족 얼굴을 한번 보고 싶다 해서 겸사겸사 들린 것뿐이니 말이야.
Oh, sure, if you say so.
가주 대전이 열리니 모두들 대관원으로 돌아오는구나. 그날 이후로는 처음 보네, 형.
Or did they not meet in Kanto 1? I don't know, was Hongler unconscious at that point or something? I don't remember.
세상 물정엔 청맹관이처럼 어둡고 가주라면 칠색팔색을 하던 네가 여긴 왜 올라온 거냐?
It's a reasonable question.
저 냄새나는 것들이랑 이번엔 어딜 빌붙은 거지?
Hey man, there's no need for harsh words. There's no need for insults, okay? We're all here as adults to compete in this tournament. Fuck you!
네 역겨운 속을 모르고 겉에반에 쫓아다니는 설가의 여시? 아니면 아직도 그 시절을 잊지 못하고 허공을 헛도는 말이나 내뱉는 널 싸고도는 시춘이냐?
Damn, he's going for the throat.
왜 살리지 않았지?
Oh, when they were messing around with the dummies, he was the one who came. Right, okay.
질문을 바꾸지. 왜 그 애만 살린 것이냐, 가보.
Huh.
형,
That eye looks very empty. There is no emotion on that face.
사람은 필연코 죽기 마련이야.
It's not wrong, but it is very, very dismissive.
곧 다음 심사가 시작됩니다. 참가자분들은 자리로 돌아가 주십시오.
You boys need to sit down.
죽어 있는 시종 따위가.
These are the questions that will be answered.
돌아가지. 구태여 더 이어갈 대화는 아닐 테니.
Yeah, no shit. Gubo, how do you look in the mirror whilst you're wearing that ego gift and think to yourself, I'm definitely not the bad guy? Come on, man. You're cartoonishly evil. Alucard from Helsing never looked in the mirror and thought, I'm a nice guy. He knew he was evil, and it's because he had the glasses and the red, and you do as well, so come on, man.
아주 만남의 광장이 따로 없군.
I'm sure there'll be more.
괜히 기분만 잡쳤네. 저 자식들 또 우리 걸 뺏어가려고 온 거 맞지?
Without a doubt.
그런 것 치곤 태도가 묘하긴 했는데.
They're a lot stronger from the looks of it.
어느 쪽이든 저들보다 높은 순위로 대전을 마치는 게 안전할 테죠.
Well, they can't place higher than us if they're dead, so we should kill them.
떨어졌네요.
Another one's dead.
이걸 지켜보고 있는 사람들 중에서 저 사람의 가족들도 있을 텐데 괜찮은 걸까요?
Sinclair mutters, watching another candidate fall down the trapdoor.
보고 있다면 마음이 정말 좋지 않을 것 같은데요.
And yet, everyone is here doing that.
싱클레어, 우리 뒤쪽에 있는 관계.
Oh.
아까 떨어진 자의 부모야.
Oh.
저런 걸 자식이라고 끼고 살았다니. 에이, 한심하군.
Oh. Goddamn. It's the two opposite ends of the spectrum in regards to, like, extreme ends of the spectrum in regards to raising a child, isn't it? There's those who simply let them do what they want, install no discipline or ambition, and then they just flop through life. And then you get the other end of the spectrum where the parents work them way too fucking hard with impossible expectations, and then they never meet them because they physically can't. It seems a lot of people struggle to meet that happy balance in the middle.
그래도 우리 셋째는 잘 해낼 거예요. 애초에 저 녀석에겐 별로 기대도 하지 않았잖아요.
God damn.
가주가 되기만을 위해 살아왔다는 건 이런 것까지 포함하는 이야기였네요.
We have come into this very casually. Everyone else here has not.
많은 분들이 가주가 되는 걸 간절히 바란답니다. 물론 저분들처럼 자신이 가주가 되는 대신
Sure, raise an heir to make it happen and then benefit from their success. Also something that happens in real life.
자신과 친하거나 피로 이어진 누군가 가주가 되는 걸 바라시는 분도 있지만요.
Bask in reflected glory.
직접 가주가 되지 않더라도 밀접한 이가 가주에 오르는 곳으로 평생의 입신양명과 부귀영화를 손에 넣겠다는 심사니까.
Oh yeah, why would they do it themselves? That's hard. They could die. Nah, get someone else to do it.
그렇게 만든 건 유통기한이 짧지.
True.
이런 뜻하지 않은 기회로 인해 오랫동안 보지 못했던 형제자매들의 안부도 알 수 있게 되었네요.
Oh, how wonderful.
27번째 참가자 설씨 가문의 한.
There are a lot of people here. Huh. Color me intrigues.
설반? 어디서 들어본 것
Zupan. Have we heard that name before? I don't recall. And the design is entirely new to me as well.
아, 보차 누나의 오라버니 되시는 분이에요.
Your betrothed's older brother is that? Because they look like a demon. It's one of those characters where you look at them, and the moment you look at them, like you get characters like Chu, right, who are like obviously formidable, you know, because they're big and they're strong and imposing, and Chu walked in holding someone's severed head and a massive sword, you can tell. Pan can just stand there, he's just being himself, and you're like, I bet that guy fights like crazy. I bet he's super fucking strong. You can just tell. The more flamboyant they are, the tougher they are. It's always the case in these stories. Maybe this will be an exception, but I get the distinct impression that Zupan is going to be ridiculous. Zupan walked up to the platform, holding what appeared to be a large jar with multiple talismans plastered over it.
눈빛이 뭔가 쎄하지 않아?
You don't need to judge a book by a cover. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
여기 안 그런 사람이 어디 있어요?
I mean, yeah.
근데 나도 느꼈어. 약간 뭐랄까.
He looks like a JoJo villain? Instead of ascending to the platform and into the curtains, he walked up to the podium.
너 죽고 나 죽자 같은 느낌인데.
Spices things up a bit, no? Yeah, he has lost applause, it turns out.
참가자 설반. 항상 안으로 들어가시오.
He's like, but I have to do my speech.
고든 길이 아니어야 재미를 보는 법.
Mm-hmm.
좋은 구경은 다 같이 하는 게 이치에 맞지 않겠나?
So this is where the fight comes from? Okay. Oh, he places the jar on the ground, and from within, a desiccated hand emerges.
주술 따위로 장난질을 치는군.
Lame. Ryoshu muttered with palpable distaste. Why is he...
안에서 뭐가 나온 거야?
Is there an abnormality or a distortion? Corpses, their desiccated flesh covered in a light, sparse layer of old papers, crawled out the jar and began to shamble. They're neither distortions nor abnormalities. There you go.
피주머니나 환상체에 종속된 것들과 비슷해 보이는군.
Ah.
이성이 남아있질 않는 것으로 보아 목표도 무작위겠지.
So this is technically like an act of terrorism.
강한 사리를 지속적으로 내보이는 것으로 보아 틀림없이 눈앞에 있는 것들을 무차별적으로 공격할 것 같습니다. 관리자님, 전투 명령을.
Do we really need to jump in here? I mean, this is presumably a room filled with badasses. I think they can handle it. Indeed. God damn. The jar monsters set upon the audience, stuffing the struggling, still breathing victims into their jars. Okay, we should probably get involved.
엄연히 날개에서 주최하는 가주 대전이 진행 중인데 주최 측에서 수습해줘야 하는 거 아니에요?
They're all just sat there like, well, hang on a minute, let's let this play out.
가주 대전에서 다른 사람들을 해하면 안 된다 같은 규칙은 없으니까요.
Okay.
규칙이 없다고 정말 아무 대응도 안 해버린다는 거야? 나 참...
Merceau nearby is just like, yeah, indeed.
어떻게 해야 해? 우리가 나서야 해?
Probably.
살아남은 다음에 가주 대전에 무사히 참가를 해야겠죠?
That's a happy medium. That's a happy balance.
이게 뭐야?
As the monsters began to swarm in, some candidates scattered and ran away, while some stood their ground and fought back. Those who did neither were the ones getting slaughtered. I was simultaneously reminded of Sword and the confident smile she flashed at me as she reassured us that we would be able to pass the first round with little to no trouble. Looks like we have no choice but to take them down. It's not going to be difficult, we're very strong, and we brought some guns. At least a couple. Oh, hello, lads. You remind me of the talisman fella, but admittedly, the talismans are different. But you do rupture. Okay. Yeah, so it is similar, isn't it? When this unit is staggered, halve the rupture potency and rupture count on the target this unit hit last. On skill, hit if target has 1 remaining rupture count, inflict +1 rupture count 2 times per turn. On hit if target has 1 remaining rupture, inflict 2 rupture 2 times per turn. If this unit kills itself, inflict 2 rupture and 1 rupture count on all enemies. And how many of you are there? 12. It's more than a few. Faust is already struggling. Faust will have to do her best. And they've got unbreakable coins. Wonderful. Maybe mitigate damage for now. Faust survived that relatively well. Yeah. No. Oh, they're doing poison as well. Monster from the gorged and devoured jar of loneliness. These guys are doing bleed as well. Jar haunting curse. Turn end against all enemies. Inflict poison equal to the number of turns that passed since this unit joined the battle. Max 5. If this unit kills itself, apply number of turns times 5 poison and inflict 2 rupture count on all enemies next turn. They're actually kind of dangerous. Okay. Interesting. No bullseye yet. Go on, Faust. Go on. Ah. She is quite durable. Get him, Heathcliff.
이러면 쏠 수 있죠?
Making it happen, making it happen. Not bad, you creepy fuckers, but we got your number.
좋았나? 적은 이렇게 진리겠다. 이 확고한 승리가 눈앞에 있다.
The poison damage is ramping up though, and we've only killed 3 of them. Honglu has been staggered. This is not great. He got hit by 50 million one-sided attacks before he got to do a single attack, which has caused problems. Do we have healing ego in this team right now? You're not equipped with fluid sac. That was a pretty big mistake on my part. I don't know if you want to do a counter for flesh digging. Fuck it, we'll see what happens.
도망쳐봤자 헛수고다. 어전단 탄환이 어디에서든 네 머리통을 화려하게 터뜨릴 테니.
Nice.
저놈을 추적해.
That was pretty bad. Surprised Honglu is still alive. You got it, lads. You'll be fine. Don't worry. It's a little bit tough, but you know, we're working our way through. Faust is staggered. Isang took that like a fucking champ. I'll need to I'm surprised I didn't equip Faust with anything. I completely forgot to do most of this team's ego. Definitely gonna do that after this. Whoopsie doodle.
확실하게 갈라지는 감각이었네. 잘했군. 한 놈도 남지 않을 때까지 지금을 반복한다. 쉴 새는 없다.
사선이 비었어요.
공로 지원한다.
다음 목표로.
Still no casualties though. Only just managed to not lose Honglu. That was very close.
갈갈이 베어버렸어. 이보다 정신이 맑을 때가 없군.
Good job, Yisang. The thumb? No way. Oh wow, no, we're just fighting more of them. Okay, shit. I thought we were done with these guys. Okay, that's fine. Lock in, lads. It's a bit of a scrap.
아름다운 건 그렇지 않은 것.
저놈을 추적해.
마침표를 쏜다. 살을 베어내고
히스크리가 지금
시야 확보.
그 삶에
시야 확보. 쏜다. 뼈를 깎는다.
다음 목표로. 이러면 쏠 수 있죠?
공로 지원한다.
Simply beautiful. Very good, team. What remained inside the hall after the battle was devastating. Many in the audience seats had fled, as the seats that were once brimming with people were only half filled. And the candidate zone down here was littered with bodies of candidates who were mauled to death. Meanwhile, the jar monsters, having eaten their fill, had already crawled back into the jar. I looked around and saw some candidates still holding tightly onto the treasures they each had brought to the contest, even as they drew their last breaths. In midst of all this destruction stood the cause of this chaos, watching the slaughter play out with assured confidence. Yeah.
이렇게 우둔하고 나약해서야 어찌 불로를 얻고 불사를 말할 수 있겠느냐?
And they're gonna be like, you know, Zhu, you know, Pan, you sure are a smart guy, you pass. And we're gonna be like, okay, sure, why not?
어떻습니까?
What? Yeah?
그 불사의 단서에 더해 거짓을 구한 자들을 없애는 보배까지 가져왔으니 이것이 저의 답입니다.
Logically, I don't think they're going to go along with it. Narratively, I think they will.
그 항아리에 진흙을 구해왔구나.
The clay of the jar.
살아남지 못한 이들은 가주의 자격을 갖추지 못했다 보는 것이 옳겠죠.
It's one way to look at it. It is a bit weird, though.
솔가판.
Wow.
합격.
Like I said, logically makes no sense. Narratively, 100% makes sense. And I know people are going to come into the comments and be like, well, actually, Foreman, it makes sense to the question because... And I don't care. I truly don't.
자칫하다가 다 죽어버릴 수 있었는데 합격이라니.
Yeah, it's a pretty high-profile competition, you know?
저들의 기준에는 부합되었던 것일 테죠.
And they get to decide what those standards are. I could sit here and be like, well, it's bullshit, and it's like they don't care. It's what they think is the answer to their question. It's what they believe or agree is the answer to their question. And to an extent, this was relevant and has answered the question. So they were like, yeah, okay, you can go through. I'm glad Jupan made it through. This makes things a lot more interesting.
겸사겸사 나약한 경쟁자들도 일찌감치 제거해버리고 저자에겐 일석이조였겠군.
Yeah, sped things up in a major way.
혹시라도 2차전에서 만나게 되면 몇 대 후려 갈기는 걸로 난 끝낼 거다.
I'm sure you will get the chance.
28번째 참가자 사씨 가문의 대정.
Shen. But no one walked up to the platform.
모습을 드러내지 않았기에 탈락.
Someone pulls his corpse over to the center and drops it in the pit. Jia Zheng called a few more names thereafter, but
29번째, 30번째.
언뜻 보기에도 인원이 줄었군.
Yeah, clearly. But none appeared.
너들 같으니
Disappointingly, MB.
확실히 어중이 떠중이들은 전부 죽은 것 같아요.
Was it truly wise to wipe out all the mediocre ones in round 1, though? We could have had more examples of the mediocres getting wiped out in rounds 2, 3, and so onward.
남은 것들도 죄 지쳐 헐떡이는 것들뿐.
We could kill them all right now. Ryoshu looked around as though she was doing some sort of critique.
어? 저 덩치는
That lug? Oh! He's got a gun sword! The thumb, I see.
이런 개스.
이야, 어디다가 흘렸는가 했더만 이런 데서 늦자고 없이 나타났지?
Huh. We're getting some Ryoshu backstory now.
야, 눈 마주쳤잖아. 인사라도 오자.
Ah. Ryoshu, that guy's talking to you, right? And in a very, very rare display of raw emotion, I realized that she was anxious and furious.
뭔 떡뜨거? 키가 2m는 되겠는데?
What an absolute unit! What an absolute stacked up unit. Big fucking Daz. Their British slang's getting better. It's getting better. Yeah, yeah.
저자를 바라보지 마세요, 단테. 그리고 여러분들도
Don't look at him.
아무 말씀도 하지 마시기를 권고합니다.
As a member of the thumb.
라제, 나한테 말 걸라면 너희들이 급이 되는지는 한번 생각해보고 씹으려야 할 것 아니냐?
Are you a candidate? It just occurs to me, what the fuck are you doing here?
저 새끼 손가락이다. 내횡.
엄지는 손가락 중 상명하복의 제일 엄격한 조직입니다.
I suspect he might be quite a lot of trouble.
그리고 저자는 엄지의 카포 중에서도 제일 높은 언더보스 직전의 직급.
He's a big fucking deal. Okay.
자그마한 실수가 큰 싸움으로 번질 수 있으니 전부 조용히 해주실 것을 명령해 주세요, 단테.
We could be looking at another Ricardo situation if you don't tell everyone to fucking zip it. I don't know what's going on, but I get it. You're saying that we're this close to having another Ricardo hunting us down, right? Yeah, let's avoid that. Do as Faust asks, everyone. Li Heng began stomping his way through the crowd towards us, casually but forcefully shoving anyone in his way to the sides. His gait was blasé and brutish, but I noticed that his eyes were fixed intently on Ryoshu. It seemed that among the crowd were some people in higher positions as well, but even they either averted their eyes or voluntarily got out of his way. He marched confidently through the frozen crowd as though he was familiar with this kind of reception, until a cry rang out from the crowd. Oh, there's always one.
에바, 너 지금 어느 안전이라고 남궁 현아 도련님의 자리까지 와서 시야를 막는 거냐? 이 자리는 장차 4대 가문이 될 우리 남궁.
Yeah, that was what I was waiting for, that line to show that he doesn't get to the end of his sentence. Instead of a reply, we heard a blast of gunpowder, then saw the right arm of the man who spoke out catapult into the air. That's what you get for being a furious attendant. The scream muffled as Li Heng forcibly shoved his giant hand down the man's throat. Then with the sound of wet meat being pulled apart, he ripped the entire length of the man's tongue out through the mouth.
남궁현아 도련님, 아그들 입단속 못했으니까 오른팔 하나는 내놔야지.
You owe me an arm now. The young master of some prestigious house presented his right hand, though it was clear that he was utterly terrified. Li Heng proceeded to grab his hand and break it off his forearm like snapping a twig. Wow, we've got a new boogeyman, huh?
반가운 낯짝 봐서 기준 좀 널널하게 잡아준 것인께.
You know what? Given what I know about the thumb, I believe it, and I agree.
거미적은 그립겠어. 하긴 그리울 리가 있겠어. 나도 갈 때마다 기분이 거시기하더만.
Spider's house.
나중에 얼굴 좀 보자. 그때처럼 한 번 더 칼 쥐는 법 좀 제대로 가르쳐줄란께. 아야, 그래도 그중엔 내가 제일 만나게 쓰는 법을 가르쳐줬잖아.
Okay, so you have similar ideas of, you know, artistic sadisticness. So why does Ryoshu hate you?
요슈 씨, 아직 때가 아닙니다.
Faust whispered to Ryoshu in a low voice without raising her head.
닥쳐봐.
입사 전의 약속을 아직 기억하시리라. 파우스트는 믿습니다.
It might be quite important that you remember this.
어깨에 힘 좀 빼라. 네 데리러 온 것도 아니고 그때처럼 뭘 가르쳐주려고 온 것도 아닌게.
I see.
그 새끼 아직 그 집에 있잖아.
We were all wondering when this would be referenced, yes. I know fuck all about the literature in which Ryoshu's from, but everyone has mentioned the fact that she's probably a mother, and sure enough. Ryoshu was grabbing the hilt of her sword like she was about to unsheath it. The same sword she refused to unsheath for the duration of our entire journey.
아닌가? 이제 어떤가? 글쎄 뭔 일이 있었냐? 나가 그 사정은 잘 몰라서 말이지. 그래도 뭔 일이 있긴 했는갑네.
Just what in tarnation happened then? Oh, this is some big business right now.
야, 겁나 재미지다. 근데 네 진짜 그건 빼려고.
So what happens if it's unsheathed?
요슈 씨.
Please don't unsheath the sword. In a quiet but coldly stern voice, Faust calls Ryoshu's name. She's quite angry. Ryoshu. That's good. That broke the tension.
아따 웃자스까. 언더보 쓰시면 안 받을라 그래도 안 받을 수가 없겠네.
Yeah, pretty important.
다음에 네가 애비들 얘기나 거시기 해보자고.
Yoshihide. Okay. The strange man turns around and stomps his way through the crowd again, his booming voice reverberating across the entire hall as he loudly and boisterously answers the call in that way that annoying people do in public. He's got to be here for the family hierarch war, right?
누가 가주가 되느냐에 따라 당분간의 H사 방향이 결정되니 다양한 자들의 이권이 보이지 않는 곳에서부터 눈앞에까지 펼쳐질 테죠.
So we are once again way in over our heads.
그래도 히스클리프 씨 이번에는 잘 참아줬네요. 중지 때처럼 사고 치면 어쩔까 걱정했는데.
I think even Heathcliff looks at that and went, nah, no fucking way.
엄지는 나도 조직 생활 때 몇 번 얽혀봐서 알아. 그리고 중지 거는 나도 진짜 몰랐던 거고. 그리고 저 자식 아마.
It's appropriate because we were just starting to catch up with Ricardo in terms of strength, so now we need someone worse.
우리가 마주쳤던 리카르도보다도 강하고 위협적인 강자로 판단된다.
Sure enough, there it is. At least Ricardo inflicts violence for a reason. Like, granted, extremely arbitrary and unfair reasons, but they are reasons. And to be fair, our new friend does as well, but it's a bit harsher.
엄지는 엄지대로 어마무시하구려. 중지와는 다른 흉악한 폭력성.
It sure fucking does. As we were all sharing our impressions of Li Heng, I found Ryoshu frozen in place, in the same position she had been when Li Heng walked past her, spacing out.
소지까지인가?
All the way to the pinky. Ryoshu muttered something to herself as even further chaos was about to overtake the crowd and the candidates.
32번째 참가자 가치우.
Ah, Chu is here. Ah, God, he seems so small fry compared to everyone else now. Jia Zheng called upon the next candidate, and at the mere mention of the name, the chaos that had swallowed the hall immediately settled into a hushed silence. He is quite formidable, though. Oh my God, are you serious? Oh my God, are you serious? Why are we bringing all the fucking factions we saw in Ruiner back today? We just had the Thumb. Now we've got the Night Owls. I'm 90% certain he's from the Night Owls. And Hanafuda's bunch as well. All the warriors! All the warriors are here! Fucking goddamn Night Owls are so fucking cool. God damn it. You better give us a Night Owl identity. I fucking want one. It's a great moment because anyone who hasn't played Ruiner, these two characters mean nothing. Or the factions these two characters represent mean nothing. And to be fair, they're not exactly big shots, like they weren't big deals in Ruiner, but significant enough to me, certainly, because the Night Owls are one of my favorite sets of cards and appearances to use. It's a pretty big deal. Xiaoshu walked up to the platform, unaccompanied by his own faction, but not alone. Who are those people next to Xiaoshu?
저는 초면이네요.
Yes.
아, 그렇다면 저분이 가치우 형님이 찾은 블로불사의 답인가 보네요.
That's interesting.
대체 어떤 사람들이길래?
A gang of knife users and another gang that does the gambling shit? I don't know.
전투적으로 그렇게 뛰어난 자들 같지는 않아 보이건만.
That's a bit rude.
오히려 불안한 듯이 연신 두리번거리시네요.
Oh, great, their chump change. Great, I love those two factions and their chump change. Okay, cool.
저자는
They are.
도서관의 생존자라고 파우스트는 생각합니다.
Ah, I see.
피할 수
Survivors.
없었던 어떤 불가항력에서
Yes, indeed.
유일하게 살아남아 그것을 설명할 수 있게 된 자일 수도요.
Provides some kind of insight anyway.
1차 심사 참가자.
Is it enough though? I didn't know he was still talking. Hang on. Oh, okay, but there was no more. Xiaoshu didn't spend much time behind the curtains. He walked out soon after, his steely expression unchanged from when he entered it.
증언을 들어보니 확실하구나. 도시의 별을 넘어 결국 사라져버린 그곳에서 살아나온 이가 맞다.
It was a pretty big deal, yes.
당시 초대장을 구하지 못한 것이 이제 와서 아쉬운 일로 남게 되었군요.
Oh, I assure you, it is a good thing you didn't. He passes. Xiaoshu's expression did not budge. He knew.
긴장이라는 걸 하긴 했을까?
He's never been concerned about anything in his life, not even once.
그럼 남은 참가자는 더 이상 없나?
Ah, incorrect, my friend.
이 자리에 와주신 4대 가문 모두에게.
Wait.
잠깐만요.
Excuse me. It's my turn. Unlike Jia Chu, whose appearance plunged the hall into utter stillness, Hong Le's sudden interjection roused the room to a roaring chaos of confusion again. A lot of big moments today. Oh yeah, I'm competing.
아직 마지막 참가자가 남은 것 같아서요.
Yeah.
그게 무슨 말이냐? 심사에 나서는 자들의 내역은 이것으로.
You are incorrect, father, as always.
제가 남았거든요.
Yeah.
가시 가문의 보옥이 가주 심사에 참가합니다.
Exciting, exciting, exciting. Cool, some good stuff happening today. I was wondering if that would lead to combat. I was really wondering if that was going to lead to immediate combat. We'll go one more chapter because I want to see if I was right about what we're planning. This will be a little bit of a longer one, I suppose.
가보옥 아니야?
Isn't that Hong Le? He's so handsome.
저게 왜 이런 자리에? 아이, 그보다 뭘 참가한다.
What's that doing here? That's very specific phrasing.
예상은 하고 있었지만 엄청나게 시선을 끌고 있네요.
Yeah.
자자, 우러러 보시게. 마지막 용사들이 이곳에 당도하였으니.
We could do with some confidence after all this happened.
이상 씨, 왜 다른 일행이 쳐가고 있어? 이렇게 되고 그냥 손에 돈 들어.
At least smile. Guys, I don't think they're taking the announcement too well.
대부분이 당혹감 속에 턱을 일정 이상 벌리고 있거나 분노와 심려가 가득한 얼굴로 소리를 지르고 있다.
Past a certain degree. As Maso observed, I realized that the chaos wasn't restricted to the audiences. The candidates were starting to get agitated too.
저런 놈이지. 겉으로는 실실 웃다가 쥐도 새도 모르게 주변을 멸해버리는 그 더러운 성정.
Annihilation.
어떻게 된 거야? 보옥이는 가주대전 참가 안 하는 거 아니었어?
That's right, we have fooled you all.
결국 저 멍청이가
We are here to do things now.
분. 너 뭐 하는 거지?
What's going on?
아까 가만에서 소드 씨가 요슈 씨가 그 말하면 제 목숨을 걸고 칼을 붙들고 있으라 했어요.
아이씨.
히스클리프 씨도요. 그냥 싹 다 패버리자 같은 말을 하면.
이런 청속.
What a throwback.
청속하시오. 네 몸에 생책이라도 나면 어쩌려는 게냐?
I mean, that comes with it, yes?
지금이라도 물어거라. 어서.
Nah. Sorry, Pops, we gotta almost win this thing.
가볼게요. 아버지.
33번째 참가자. 가시 가문의 오.
We're going in.
앞으로.
단테님, 준비되셨죠?
Time to do this thing. I don't know.
그리고 로슈 씨도요?
Oh, did we give Ryoshu the unenviable task of performing the execution?
뭐든지 썰고 싶다. 기분이 굉장히 더럽거든.
Just make it quick, huh?
파우스트 씨 진짜 괜찮겠죠?
No.
괜찮은 것이 아니라 하더라도 해야 하는 것은 해야 하는 것입니다.
True. Faust spoke sternly. She was also having quite a stressful day dealing with everything.
나는 여전히 이 계획이 그리 마음에 들지 않소.
It's pretty rough, it is.
사실 누구도 이 계획을 두 팔 벌려 환영하는 사람은 없어요.
Well, I think Ryoshu probably is, just because she loves this shit, but other than that, no. Yeah, there's the one. Hongluo, Ryoshu, and I walked up to the platform. Up close, it was much larger, grander, and more imposing than I thought it'd be.
선을 넘어서 들어오거라.
Okay. Hello, hello. Once we walked past the curtains as instructed, we saw Jia Yushun, Jia Me, and Jia Zheng waiting for us inside.
출가의 생에서 어떠한 심정의 변화가 있었는진 모르겠으나
Luckily, one of the challenges is not to explain why we want to do it, so don't have to say anything.
네가 가주에 도전하는 진귀한 광경을 보게 될 줄이야.
It certainly is a thing.
오랜만이에요, 누님. 큐사에서의 생활은 무사 평안하셨나요?
How is Q-Corp?
많은 것을 보고 배웠지.
I'm sure.
네가 그랬을 것처럼 보가.
He's seen many things.
이곳에 발걸음을 한 연유가 이것이었느냐?
Betrayal.
죄송해요, 할머님. 세간에 밝히지 않는 편이 좋을 것 같았어요.
Probably smart though.
그렇느냐?
Mm-hmm.
의사를 밝힌 이상 물러날 곳은 없겠지.
Yeah, we're in there now.
그래, 네가 가지고 온 답은 무엇이더냐?
I don't know if... Well, we'll see.
정말 많은 분들이 이 자리에 서서 각자가 찾은 것에 대해 알려주려 했을 거라고 생각해요.
They have. About 30 people, give or take.
그러니 번잡스럽게 첫마디의 말보다는 눈앞에서 보여드리는 편이 여러모로 좋으실 테죠.
I would imagine. Honglu gave Ryoshu a nod.
네, 괜찮아요.
Oh boy.
저희가 그들에게 보여줄 수 있는 답은 단테 씨의 힘으로 언제든 살아날 수 있는 생, 그 자체입니다.
Yup.
그리고 그걸 제일 극적으로 보여주기 위해서는
To literally execute Honglu and revive him. What? Oh, it has to be vertical as well, so they know it can't be undone. Yeah, you have to destroy the brain as well. Oh, that's clever. Oh, I like that. That's smart. That's why they went to all the trouble of telling us about the other two. And like, oh yeah, so they must have taken, like, it's the third time he's been decapitated. And he never learns his lesson because we just keep bringing him back and he just keeps being a dickhead. It has to be a very specific form of execution to actually shock them, because they'll be like, holy shit, he's actually dead. That is the permanent death of Bao Yui. And then bring him back. That's pretty cool. It's quite a show, yeah? She's less surprised. She's a smart cookie.
그래. 이건 인정해야겠네.
Indeed, we've shown you what Bao Yui's ribs look like.
지금까지 나온 참가자 중에서 제일 지루하지 않았다.
Always the most interesting.
아, 그렇다면 제가 눈앞에서 목숨을 잃는 편이 제일 효과적이겠네요?
Yeah.
그것도 아주 확실하게요.
Yeah, specifically the vertical execution. Yep.
그렇습니다.
저희 중 한 명이 홍루 씨를 그 목숨을 잃게끔 만들어야 한다는 건가요?
And it had to be done with precision, and there's only one of us capable of that level of precision, and that is Ryoshu.
야, 허감이 뭐 그리 거창해.
And also someone who would be happy to do it, because most of the sinners, by this point in the journey, would not be willing to do it.
우리 처음 만났을 때 기억 안 나냐?
Yeah.
그렇다면 히스클리프 군은
I don't think he'd want to, though. Even though he and Honglu have been bouncing off each other a bit, I don't think he'd be eager.
홍루 군을 아무렇지 않게 살해할 수 있다는 것인가?
That is a question, though.
살해? 야, 또 뭐 말을 그렇게?
I mean, it is. You know, it is.
더 이상 악인들이 아닌 동료들을 해치는 건 싫네.
Yeah, we've gotten the shit kicked out of us by Don Quixote a few times now.
다행이라 해야 할지 모르겠지만 저희 중에서 고통 없고 신속하면서 동시에 아무런 가책이 없이 이 작전을 도와주실 분이 계시는 듯하군요.
Indeed. And everyone immediately turned to look at.
그래서 어떤 모양으로 베면 되지?
Just a little off the top.
뇌횡. 그 새끼. 어디부터 먹었지?
She was gonna have such a good day, and then he showed up and ruined everything. It seemed that slicing Honglu in half did nothing to distract Ryoshu from her own thoughts. Xiaomu watched us in silence, motionless in her seat.
뇌까지 절단했군.
Yup.
이 아이는 이제 생명보험으로도 되살아나지 못할 것이다.
Yep.
뭐가?
자, 이제 어떻게 나올 테냐?
Now we will walk out, having made quite a statement and nothing else. We're not entered in the hierarchy evaluations, we don't care.
뭘 하더라도 본래의 옥으로 돌아오진 못할 터. 가문의 보석을 망가뜨린 죄값은
Oh, so hasty. So hasty. Do you think we walked in here with no plan?
시계 돌려.
Do it. Imagine if it didn't work. God, imagine if it didn't work. It would be so fucking funny if it didn't work. And so it turned in one of the most high-intensity situations I'd ever turned it. The muscle fibers, the nerves, the flesh that was split all began to reconnect like a rewinding videotape. Huh? Wait, why doesn't this hurt at all? Because Ryoshu's very good. Ryoshu's skill with the sword was no joke. I didn't even feel the slightest bit of discomfort. I doubt Honglu even realized that he was dying.
우리 보기가 못 본 사이에
But this is a big change.
담대해진 게 분명하구나.
Indeed.
짐승 냄새.
I smell beasts? Beast? Excuse me? Oh, hey shoot. Dark shadows had appeared outside the curtains surrounding us before I even realized what was happening.
소, 닭, 용, 원숭이, 흑수군.
Oh, that's very cool. Like the different Chinese New Year's? I know that's in reference to something else within that, like, you know, culture, but I don't know what it is, so I can only reference what I know.
불로 불사의 해답을 찾아오라 하였지.
Okay, did we not do that?
금기를 무시하고 난장을 피우라 한 것은 아니었는데.
Oh, right, yeah, they think we've broken a taboo, yeah. Okay, maybe we should start explaining ourselves. Maybe Faust should be in here.
이전에 H사를 이끌던 그 가문이 멸문한 지 그리 오래되지도 않았다. 조율자와 발톱이 다시 이 홍원에서 가문을 도륙내게 하는 것은 용납될 수 없는.
So did the previous rulers of H-Corp break a taboo as well? Jia Yushun appeared ready to command the Heishu to kill us all, but... Jia Mu silenced her with a wave of her hand.
기다리거라.
가모님, 부활이 끝나면 틀림없이 머리가, 그러니 그 전에 끝내야.
That's not what it is, though.
일각만 기다리거라. 판단이 섣부르면 반드시 놓치는 것이 있기 마련.
It's true.
나는 우리의 보물과 불로불사의 탄석 두 가지 모두 놓치고 싶지 않구나.
The extremely awkward thing is that this has no value to them as far as I can tell, but then again, maybe it could do. And all they're looking for is clues. And Honglu was whole again.
감사해요, 루시님. 정말 아무런 아픔도 느껴지지 않았어요. 그리고 단테님도요.
It's what we do.
별말.
Surprisingly sweet in its own way.
할머니, 그리고 원춘 누님 보셨죠? 이게 제가 찾은 불로불사의 방법이랍니다.
Now we better start explaining what it is before we're murdered. We were going to be murdered for one reason, now we might potentially be murdered for a different reason, so we should probably start talking.
오지 않는 건가?
Probably. I mean, we've been doing it a lot, so... And Limbus Company is an established company. We haven't been hiding the clock turning that much.
부시불보 시후미도.
Uh-huh. Shamu's quiet utterance seems to dissipate the forces that had surrounded us outside the curtains.
가주심사 1차 참가자 가복.
Oh, we don't even have to explain ourselves. Okay.
합격이란다.
We pass.
가시복 합격.
I wonder if his blood's still on the floor.
무슨 술수를 쓴 거지?
What indeed?
분명 홍원을 떠나 한량 같은 여행이나 다닌다 들었는데 그 사이 무슨 묘수를 가져온 거야?
Oh, you know, we've been doing stuff, figuring things out, found a nice clock.
1차 심사 종료.
Indeed.
합격자들은 곧바로 내일 열릴 2차 심사를 준비하라.
Oh boy.
2차 심사와의 간극 간 후보자끼리 서로 위해를 가하는 것은 금지되어 있다.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they won't try though.
이것은 유일한 규칙으로 위반한 후보자는 즉시 탈락된다는 점 양지하기를 바란다.
Well, to rephrase that, anyone who dare break it and gets caught shall be immediately disqualified.
이상.
Thank you. As soon as Jia Zheng announced the end of the first round, everyone in the audience seats began rushing toward the first floor. Getting mixed up with that crowd's probably not a good idea. Let's go.
네, 저희는 곧바로 홍로 씨의 방으로 이동하도록 하죠.
There's much to discuss and we need to hide. And we decided to slip out of here before the curious crowd swept us away. However, as we turned around to leave... Ah, hello. Ah, yes. Ah, hello. Ah, yes, it's you guys. Ah, hello. Stood Jia Shu in our path.
아, 치우 형님이시군요. 1차 대전에 합격한 걸 축하드려요.
Yes, we're all friends.
도련님도 합격하셨다죠? 축하드려요.
Thank you. I've forgotten how to pronounce your name already. I'm gonna say Zugong until I'm corrected.
평생토록 가주 자리에는 일말의 관심조차 보이지 않으셨던 도련님이
Must we explain ourselves to everyone? We haven't all gone around asking you guys why you want to be hierarchs, hmm?
어쩐 일로 이렇게 주목을 한 몸에 받으며 가주대전에 나오셨을지.
How about none of your fucking business?
뭐 갑자기 욕심이 날 수도 있는 거 아니겠어?
It's true.
욕심을 낸 건 도련님이 아니라 그대들의 회사가 아닐런지.
Would it make a difference? Well, if our last meeting didn't confirm it, it sure seems like they know us well.
테두리 안에 있자 하였건을 벌써 가생이에서 난장을 피우다니.
I'm sure you'll get over it. There are much bigger players than you two here now.
가시춘의 뜻에 휘둘리는 걸로 상황이 끝날 것이라 여겼는데.
Alas.
주군, 도련님을 너무 과대평가한 게 아니신지요?
아직도 너는 아무것도 하지 않으면 아무 일도 일어나지 않을 거라 믿는 것이냐?
That's a question.
전에 인사도 제대로 못 드렸네요, 치우 형님.
Thing is, of course, not making a choice is still a choice. Inaction is a choice. It's a decision. And it definitely comes with consequences.
가시 가문의 보옥, 정식으로 인사드립니다.
We can be polite, surely. I guess that answers your question though, doesn't it?
성인이 된 이후론 정식으로 얼굴을 맞대고 인사드리는 게 처음이네요.
He's so much bigger than Honglu.
그나저나 이화 형님과 경도 씨의 머리는 원래대로 잘 붙여주었나요?
Xing Tao, that's his name. Good lad.
Huh?
Heathcliff was the first to let out a flabbergasted gasp before the other sinners followed suit.
홍원의 형제자매끼리는 항상 저런 식으로 인사를 주고받는 게 일상인가 보죠?
It's all very standard around here.
보차 씨가 유별나게 상냥한 타입이었나 봐.
Evidently.
탓할 이유가 없는 물음을 던지는가?
Oh, what? And you do?
일말의 준비도 없이 제 차례가 왔다며 맨몸으로 불길에 뛰어들었나?
That your turn had come? You know this much?
여전히 같은 생각이라면 지금까지 그랬던 것처럼 눈에 띄지 않고 조용히 있는 것이 옳았을 텐데.
Would it have been safer, albeit still extremely dangerous, to have just planned a heist of the fucking battle rather than attempting to go through the competition? I doubt we would have succeeded. I get the impression that the Heishu are extremely good at counter-espionage.
네, 걱정해 주셔서 감사해요.
Bordering on passive aggression.
그 관조를 흉내내는 말버릇은.
Everyone seems to get quite angry with Honglu for, in their words, pretending to be smart. Now, it's much more convoluted than that. That's a very simplistic summary of it, but fake wisdom, displaying a fake sense of like calm collectiveness and just wisdom. The question is, why do they feel that way?
도통 고치지
Apparently it's quite irritating.
제가 그랬나요?
Do I do that? Turns to the other sinners. Do I do that? And they're like, a little bit. Noticing Jashu's hand tighten around his weapon, Ishmael quickly jumped in.
아, 1차 심사 통과한 후보자끼리 죽이면 안 된다던 규칙. 저만 기억하는 건 아니죠?
That is in fact a rule, is correct.
계속 위협적으로 나오신다면 저희도 다음 수단을 쓸 수밖에 없다는 점을 알아주시면 좋겠는데요.
I appreciate the polite yet firm resistance.
오티스 씨, 준비는 끝내둔 거죠?
Preparations.
지원군들은 지금 건물 앞까지 도착한 상태다.
That's a good bluff. Considering how well they know us, I don't think it'll work, but it's a good bluff.
우리한테 지원군이 있어.
Heathcliff, please.
그래서 섣불리 행동하는 것은 2차 선발을 두고 쓸데없는 무력전이 벌어질 수도 있다는 거지.
The witch! Shut the fuck up, Heathcliff. Goddamn.
허장성세로구나. 애당초 무력은 처음부터 내세울 도리가 아니라 생각한다마는.
You can talk shit all you want, you're still chicken shit to start a fight, and we both know that.
여기서 너희와 겨룰 생각은 없다. 가보. 제 그릇에 맞지 않은 것을 담으려 하면 큰 화를 피하지 못할 것이다.
Perhaps, probably, who knows, we'll see.
그러나 부딪혀 깨어주고 싶다면 그 또한 술리며 섭리일 테죠.
And with that, they turned around and left us. It seemed they were only here to give us a warning.
조마조마했어요. 가치우 씨랑 그 흑수들이랑 맞붙게 되면
Yeah, we could take them, fuck it.
눈치챈 것 같긴 하지만 합은 좋았네요, 오티스 씨.
Yeah, I think pushing further along with the reinforcements line was a bit silly. I think ending it on, you know, there will be consequences, would have allowed us to sort of hold our ground a little bit better in terms of an argument, in terms of standing off against each other, but these two did play well together, so that was pretty cool. I'm not criticizing the writing, I'm criticizing the Ishmael pushing it further and Otis being like, yes, we have a massive army outside, and it's like, no, we fucking don't. And he would know we don't as well, because he even knows that Hongler is here for his turn in regards to a golden bow. Attempting a lie of that scale was not wise. But then again, it's not as if they planned it, you know, it's a spur of the moment thing to get them to back off, and the teamwork was good, you know? It was cool.
무례하게 짝이 없는 놈들이었다.
They sure are mean.
말하는 내내 우리는 쳐다도 보지 않더군.
Yeah, they don't care about us. It's almost as if it's Hongler's day. Zhu Baokai peeked out from behind a pillar before walking up to Hongler.
1차 심사 합격한 거 축하해, 보호가. 정말 어떻게 된 일이야? 네가 가주대전에 나올 줄은 꿈에도 몰랐는데.
I also didn't think that you would be, but here we are.
보차 누나도 1차 심사에서 합격한 걸 축하해.
Everyone's very happy.
나한테 숨겼을 정도면 모두에게 알려지지 않길 바랐던 거지?
I mean, it wasn't difficult, to be fair.
맞아. 아마 나 때문에 다들 시끌벅적해졌을 것 같네.
And boy, did it.
괜히 미안해지는구만. 본의 아니게 속인 셈이 되어버렸어.
I think they'll get over it.
뭐 어때요? 뻔뻔해지자고요.
Yeah. Run with it.
이렇게 된 거 네가 가주대전에 나가게 된 걸 다행으로 여기려고. 왜냐하면 내가 가주대전에 나간 사이에 네가 또다시 대관원을 떠날지도 모른다고 생각했거든. 그렇게 되면 너무 섭섭하잖아.
There is no fucking way she makes it to the end of this canto. I don't want her to die. I would rather she lived. It would perhaps be nice, but I don't see it happening. I just don't.
그러니 가주대전에서라도 계속 볼 수 있게 되어서 다행이야. 마주치게 되면 누구보다 반갑게 인사해주기야.
I'm sure he will. She left us to rejoin her faction, waving sweetly as she did so. There's a lot happening. That was also a very cool thing. There was a lot of very cool things today. We made some real progress. What's the next Oh wow, we're going down here. Jasi Shun. Oh, that'll be a conversation, but it's a conversation for next time, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a lot of players here. I think the thumb guy concerns me the most for multiple reasons. For obvious reasons as well. I don't want there to be a bigger boogeyman than Ricardo, though. I want Ricardo to be the boogeyman because he's fun and funny and I like him. Don't get me wrong, thumb guy's a fucking badass, but Ricardo's Ricardo and you don't replace your Ricardo or leave your Ricardo behind. And I know what they're going to do to further cement how much of a threat Lee is. They're going to have him kill Ricardo. And my heart will break. And I will be sad, and we'll never get to hear the middle Toho ever again, or Tuo, I don't know how that's pronounced, but the theme, we'll never get to hear it again. It's gonna be fucking bullshit. But, you know, plot's a plot, and it's a good plot, and it's a good narrative device, but it will make me sad. But that's all for the future. For now, friends, thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to our members and patrons, Miscreant, Rakuriku, Crescent, Tony the Horse, Cryolitic, Lara the Hexire, Abyssalanchi, Mighty PH, Entistora, Lanthelian, Gage Donaldson, Hotterman, Saga, Jack, Ninja Dog, Ember Fox, Grand Captain General Peace, Mean Baby Back Tursle, Lincoln Humor, Cuds, Kenneth, Mario Poe, Portrait Black Lifesteal, Mega Mr. Z-Man, Unclever Name, Summercat Flanny, Pinch Dragoon, Lip Potatoes, Proxy, Caminera, Moa, Heartland, Harak J, Dresso, Seal Distance, Lol, Etherbin, Linky, Zeon, Cedar Bin Board, Alkia, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Jessica Plutonium Pie, Jimmy Ghost, Lullaby, K-Bob, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, SP1068, Namad, and Kenny Tier 100 for supporting me on YouTube and on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, those fights against those weird jar talisman dudes was actually quite hard, so even having characters at max level, we're still going to take quite a few hits and probably lose characters. The game's definitely leaning its difficulty now towards making use of your support characters, or at least making that be a thing, and having members of the starting party die. So we need to make sure that these backup characters are actually up to snuff. Gregor's level 40, that's not high enough. Otis is level 12, that's really not high enough. Sinclair and Ryoshu are level 9, and that's super not high enough, so I need to work on that before we get to a big encounter in which I actually need them. But I'll work on that, I'll handle that, and hopefully we'll be ready for that when it happens, and when it does, hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.